Welcome to Intel Cloud TV. Today's topic is about how to create a cloud solution architecture that avoids vendor lock-in. When talking to a customer about their cloud architecture, a lot of times they aren't thinking about changes. They aren't thinking about what's going to come up in the future. They're not looking at what does future-proofing mean? Have I thought about if there's a new executive edict of, hey, we're going to move off this CSP to another? They don't think about, is there a performance change that's going to happen? Is the cost of the services going to increase at a point where I need to shift? Or is there a risk? Is there a security element that comes up where it's like there was a breach, or there's some thoughts around possibility of breach, and that puts you into a risk conversation. Also, if we want to undo, like pull it back. So repatriation is a great example of now I want it back on-prem. At that point, it's like, okay, have I prepared myself for a migration? Having a single cloud is not enough. You're too locked in with that cloud. So why that's a problem is if you need to move it, how hard is it going to be to move? How much are the egress charges going to be? How much you need to change that architecture to go from something that's very cloud native to now want to pull it back on-prem, and do I have the on-prem architecture to support it? The mindset you need to have is around future-proofing. Not where I'm at today, but where I may be in 6, 12 months, 2 years. What is going to happen? So when you're talking about future-proofing, I would look at what is the common architecture? What are the features I can rely on? What's the performance that I can rely on? Because that common architecture allows you to not have to recompile code. It allows you easier portability and of migration. What is portability? It is about being able to move from one cloud architecture to another, about moving from cloud to cloud, cloud to on-prem, being able to do a hybrid situation, a multi-situation. This is where portability comes in of, okay, let's think about containers. Let's think about Kubernetes. Let's think about how we do microservices. How do the pieces fit together? How do I go to more stateless? So that way when I shift and move it back on-prem or I move it to another cloud, I've got no challenges. It's not me re-architecting and basically re-releasing an entire new code set just because I have to do a move. Why does all that matter? Because I can shift, I can move based on price, performance, or risk. Part of that multi-cloud solution should be looking at hybrid. What are you going to do on-prem? Because the reality is no one's all in the cloud. There are some workloads that still remain on-prem. So how do you start to look at your on-prem environment and think of it as a private cloud, part of that hybrid environment where you can shift from that workload to the cloud and move it around? Working with the customer, I like to talk about what's in your infrastructure. What is your solution stack? What are you using? What workloads do you have? How are they operating? What is the operating system? What's the kernel level? Where are we at? And then from there, I like to back that into, are we on the right configuration? Have we optimized it correctly? Are we getting the most out of what I call that cloud density? Like, are you getting the most out of it or not? Now, why does that all matter? Back to portability is if I understand all the optimizations and all the configuration, I'm able to move it. Now, underlying that entire base is Intel architecture. It's x86. So therefore, the optimizations I make in the software stack use the features of that hardware. So when I go from place to place, wow, I'm not reducing my performance. I'm not having issues that are beyond just how do I practically move it. And with using common x86 architecture, it's an easy move. When you look at containers, it makes it even easier. And that's how we get to portability. So when talking to the customer, it's where are you at? What do you have? And you start to back them in to here are the different architectures that'll help you on this quest. So let's recap. Creating a multi-cloud solution architecture helps avoid that vendor lock-in. What else? You're choosing a common architecture, right? You're choosing the Intel architecture, x86. We've got the optimizations, the configurations to help on this journey of multi-cloud. Portability, think about the risk, think about performance, think about the cost. All these elements together make a multi-cloud architecture a reality. They make you more future-proof so that you're ready for that conversation, because it will come. There will be a conversation around we need to move, and you preparing the customer for that is part of how you will continue to be engaged with that customer going forward. You can get more information on portability by going to intel.com/cloud. We have optimization guides, solution stacks, and information that'll help you in navigating that conversation with your customer. Specify Intel technologies in your cloud recommendations. Join the Intel Partner Alliance for support, testing, upgrades, develop resources, and tools. For more information on Intel technology and support in the cloud, go to intel.com/cloudinsider.